Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizq Ayman before I'm from GRF. My issue in the presentation today will be about racism. First, we must ask ourselves, what is racism? Racism is a system of social structures that provides ordinance, access, safety, resources, and power based on race categories and produces and reproduces race-based inequities. It affects us individually, is built into our institution, and is woven into the fabric of our culture. There are three ways racism manifests. Institutional. The policies and practices that perpetuate a cycle of racial inequity and are promoted by institutions. An example are schools, government, housing, and media. Next up, we got interpersonal. This is usually manifested through communication or actions. It occurs when those with racial privilege discriminate against, isolate, minimize the experience or oppress those with no historical structural power. Last, we got internalized. It is manifested by, but not limited to, exhibiting patterns of thinking that one's racial group is inferior. An example is questioning one's self-worth based on their racial identity, or thinking aspects of the dominant culture are superior. An example, assuming white people is the normal. Next up, data analysis studies. Understanding daily policy encounters with data science. Between January 1, 2013 and December 15, 2020, 8,709 people were killed by police in the United States. 51 of them have been people of color. For example, people who are black, Latinx, Native American, Asian, and Pacific Islander. This despite the fact that this racial and ethnic group comprise less than 40% of the overall United States population. Uh, there's two solutions that you could take to prevent racism. Number one, learn to recognize and understand your own privilege. One of the first steps to eliminating racial discrimination is learning to recognize and understand your own privilege. Racial privilege plays out across social, political, economic, and cultural environments. Taking your privilege and using your privilege to dismantle systemic racism are two ways to begin this complex process. Second and last, we got validate the experience and feelings of people of color. Another way to address bias and recognize privilege is to support the experience of other people and engage in tough conversations about race and injustice. We cannot be afraid to discuss oppression and discrimination for fear of getting it wrong. Take action by learning about the ways that racism continues to affect our society, for example, by watching documentaries. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.